Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to part two, the episode of the Concomba history. As usual, the presenter is Peter Mbayi Bajo. If you remember, some time ago, I brought out part one of the Concomba history and promised to come back with part two that will be dealing with the policies of the colonial governments and subsequent governments and how the Concomba authority was forcefully taken away and put under the Gomba control. As usual, like I said in the past, that some of these things are going to be emotional. They are going to be provocative. I will be critical on those authorities that need to be criticized, whether in the past or current. And people that, in my view, have tried to manipulate or to interfere in the Concomba land and the Concomba authority. Now, to start with, this time around, my brethren, the Gombas, are going to be provoked to some extent. But I am sure at the end of this presentation, most of the Dagombas will be happy that this came out. I have mentioned earlier that people should not get me wrong. The Gombas and Kokomas are not bad people. I am a Concomba by tribe. So I am not going to sit down here and blow the trumpet for my people only. I must tell you that the few years I have had to live with the Gombas, I have realized that they are most generous people, most peace-loving people, and most honest people in the North. And both tribes will attest to that. Why am I saying this? The Gombas are content with what they have. They don't overreach. They don't take what do not belong to them knowingly. And so I have the conviction that if the current youth of Dagbon had been told the truth by their forefathers, that they had never had any encounter in any form of wars to defeat Concombas in order to occupy or take control of their lands administratively, I believe the youth of Dagbon would have said, you know what? All these that have happened over the years should never happen again. They should have been honest to tell the youth of Dagbon that it was the colonial masters, the British, that manipulated and helped to take away the Concomba authority and put under Dagbon control. And also the lands of Concombas that are being managed were forcefully put administratively under the Dagombas. I think that this discussion of disturbances between Concombas and Dagombas in the North would have been a thing of the past. And I'm sure that I'm going to bring out some of these examples for those who want to know what actually happened in those days, to be able to make their own judgments. For example, recently, if people listen and watch the news, it was all over that the Dagomba Constitution of 1930 was being reviewed people who are interested or who were interested and have paid much attention to it have made their own conclusions and judgments. As usual, I will not go into people's personal matters unless, of course, it is affecting my people, the Konkoma people, which indeed had affected my people and is affecting my people. So if you remember, I said that the partitioning of the Konkoma Kingdom or the demarcation of the Konkoma lands were completed after 1928. During that time, it was obvious that that part of the Konkoma Kingdom, which was going to become Gold Coast, had become Gold Coast. And the rest that was going to become French Togoland had become French Togoland. There were no disputes after that. There were some discrepancies, disturbances, and a whole lot of issues, which I will come to. But it was clear. The Konkomas understood that this time around, their kingdom had been divided. You see? So, is it not interesting for anyone, after all the facts of the Gbon Kingdom and the Gbon history, dated back to the 1300, 1300, whatever BC or AD, I don't know, that they had had kingdoms and lands and authority? Is it not interesting that all that time there was no constitution? There was not the Gombe constitution. And so it is obvious